There are three things I wish I had prioritized earlier in my design career. So hopefully by me telling you about them, you can think about them as well. All right. I do have notes here with me because I was like afraid I would do them out of order. So number one is I wouldn't have gone after my passion. I would have gone after the things that actually matter. And so instead of like chasing something because I just thought I was just really, really excited about it, one of those things was fabric. Instead of maybe chasing after it, instead I would have dug more fully into the thing that I was working on and figuring out what actually made money. Because I found actually as I like over the years of designing, and I've designed for so many different entities, what I found is whatever I was working on actually became a passion project. Like if you love designing and you are creative, what happens is you can basically turn anything you're working into your passion. And instead, I was going about it the wrong way, looking for things that I felt were already my passion and thinking that I could then turn it into something. Come to find out, many of those things don't make that much money. I have a lot of regrets around several different entities and things that I did. And I just found that if I went after things that mattered, I would have been so much further along than I am now. But instead, I have that experience behind me, and I now know that chasing the things that are more about passion. Let me give you a good example of this. Sewing patterns. We did physical sewing patterns for years and years and years, and we would run sets of 2,000. I know many of you will hand print them, which is, by the way, smart way to go. But we would run very professional looking patterns, and on the scale, the world scale of sewing patterns, they did phenomenally well. But on the scale in my business, they did terrible. I mean, I think that we made, I can't even remember. We'll just say in the 20,000s on sewing patterns when we were making hundreds of thousands off of digital files. It made no sense whatsoever. And I was just talking to someone, they were saying a few of the bigger sewing pattern designers were talking about how they make, if they're lucky, between $5,000 and $10,000 a year doing sewing patterns. Like, I'm not surprised. I felt like we sold so many sewing patterns. We had really professional grade sewing patterns, and we didn't make that much money on it. And it was worse once I stacked it up against the rest of my business. And so I am here to tell you, I was passionate. I thought it was so fun. I loved doing the photography around it. We did all these cute, cool kid clothing items. And if I had just stuck to my guns and did the things that actually mattered, that I saw was making money in my business, in my design business, and chased those things, I would have made it a lot sooner. But instead, I was spending all this time on things that weren't working that well, which is so crazy, right? Like, I guarantee all of us do it. It's just hard. And then it's like we have to learn our lesson, which is also very, very hard. Okay, number two is, this is so good. I would have prioritized one type of design earlier on. A lot of people are attracted to the design work I do because they see me in a lot of different categories. I'm in stickers, I'm in fabric, I'm in wallpaper, I'm in clip art, I'm in Cricut and silhouette files, I'm in sublimation, I'm in a lot of different areas. I've done contract work, okay? So people see all the different things I've done, but they don't realize that most of the time it's because it took me a little while to figure this out in my career, probably 5 years into it, that when I really dug in and focused on one type of design, that's when I made the most money. And when I say one type of design, I mean one type of product. And when I did that, I started making a lot of money. I wish I'd done it sooner. And it only looks like I do all the things because every year or every couple of years, I change whatever priority I'm working on, and that becomes the main focus. So I still really only work on one thing, you guys. And even in my current business where we have the program and we have the Ink Club membership and we have the design work, which you're going to see is coming out and rolling out all these different new things in it, what you're actually going to see is at the end of the day, there's really only one thing we focus on, which is Design Suite. Design Suite rules them all. Why? Because I love it. Was it my passion project when I started? No, it was not. Okay. I think designing is in a lot of ways my passion project. But what I found is it became a passion project because I fell in love with the members. I loved watching them win. I liked seeing them become successful. And it started really bringing a lot of fulfillment into my life. But it took me doing it for a little while because I saw that it was the correct place for me to move to. That was like the next evolutionary step in my design business, that it made so much sense for me to really go in on that. And really, at the end of the day, Design Suite is number one. It's anyone who is on my team will tell you Design Suite is number one. If other things do not happen, it's okay. It goes by the wayside. Design Suite never goes by the wayside. Like, the people in there are too important to me, and I want to make sure that they're all having a good experience and we're giving them what they really need. So you will see that one thing is usually what I go after. Now, because I have a team now and I couldn't do this when I did it all by myself, we can focus on a few more different groups. Right now we have 3 people that are in charge of one particular entity that we're working on. I personally am working on 2 of the other entities to make sure that they are producing and we're coming out with stuff, right? But when it was just me, I really only ever focused on one thing. And that one thing was the thing that kept me going. And I wish earlier on I had adapted that. It took me about 5 years into it to really realize that I was scattered. I was scattered all over the place. And I teach my designers to go all in on one thing because I think it is that important. Okay. Number 3, I can't even read my own writing here. Oh my gosh, this is so huge. I can't believe I had to look at it to realize this, because this has been so big for me and not even realizing how important it was. And that is, I wish earlier on I'd built a better network. I mean, I remember even 5 years ago, I was talking to Sweekim. Sweekim's my Etsy coach. She's also my sister. And we both had these really amazing businesses, both of us making multiple 6 figures. We were doing better than just about anyone we had talked to in our space. Sure, there are people who make that now or make more than that, but there weren't a lot, especially back then. And both of us had been really consistent for many years and we're doing really good. And I remember we talked all the time, and I was like, I just am looking for a mastermind, because I was like, I think I don't know what I don't know. And I just would love to connect with other women, and realize that for a lot of years, I was doing it by myself. And I would have to reach out to this one designer, reach out to my creative director, reach out to get that network. And instead of what I have right now, which I have this unbelievable network now, unbelievable, of business owners and creatives that I talk to all the time that are making the kind of money that I want to make, right? Or making the same money that I make. It changed everything, literally changed everything. And when I started getting out of my comfort zone and talking to people, and actually this podcast and the YouTube channel has been phenomenal for this, because the more I've talked to people, the more I can see where everybody is. And it gives you a better understanding of kind of where you are, where you need to grow as a designer, and where you are. Maybe you're doing better than you thought. Maybe you're doing worse than you thought. Those are thoughts that I had. You look on Instagram and that's where everybody judges how well you're doing. It's by the numbers, right? They'll look at your followers and they'll be like, well, they must be doing pretty good because they have X number of followers, or they must be not doing that good because they don't have that many followers, right? How many of you do that? I mean, I do that once in a while, and I know the truth. And the truth is, the numbers actually don't matter. I know people who have 1,000 followers who make 7 million a year. I know people who have 100,000 followers who make diddly squat. Maybe they're scraping by at $15,000 for the year. And that's the thing. I have to always remind myself that what is out there for everyone to see isn't the truth. Just like we know that Instagram is a highlight reel, or even Facebook can be a highlight reel. The end of the day, people's lives do not look like that. I am not literally crafting 24 hours a day. I'm not, okay? I'm usually doing it a couple of times a month to make videos to educate the people with all of my files, right? Maybe 2 or 3 days. Actually, ironically, I am crafting today. So I'm making my own point not work. But You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not spending every day. I do not quilt every day. I do not have time to quilt every day. Okay. I don't spend all of my time designing, right? If you've read my book, you know that you can't spend all your time designing. You do spend a good portion of your time designing, but there are percentages of that design process that you should really be paying attention to. So at the end of the day, these 3 things are things I just wish I had implemented sooner. And if you can implement them sooner, I think that it will push you along in the design process a little bit faster than it took me to get where I needed to go to make the kind of money I wanted to. So hopefully that helps. If you are looking for the book, you guys, we just released the book this month. And if you've been listening, you've heard me talking about it. And if you've been on Instagram, you've seen me talking about it. You will want to grab it. It is as inexpensive as a book can get. And there's a Kindle version that's pretty inexpensive as well. It's called Design, Profit, and Prosper, and you can grab it at Amazon. And I hope it's very helpful to you. I hope it's insightful. It's a little mix of academic and experience that I've had, having a Ph.D. in design, understanding how design really works, but then understanding how to run a design business and how that has been a really profitable and amazing thing over the last 15 years of me owning a design business. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you soon.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.